Ryan Lindgren approaching game number 300 tonight, just how much do you appreciate what he's been able to do on the season?
You know, he's been awesome. You know, he plays the game. He plays every game the same way. You know, he's hard. He's physical. He plays it smart, competitive, and really important part of our group and our success back there. But you know, his career has been that way. He's been really consistent with that. Sometimes it can be challenging to bring your game, you know, day in and day out, and yet he finds a way to do it.
Before you took over the team, how aware were you of how important the power play was to, you know, just the way the Rangers drive their offense?
They've had you know, a lot of those pieces in place for a long time, and so just having coached against them, realizing it was good and it was a big part of their team.
I guess what's your opinion on that when a power play is just when a team does rely heavily on a power play production for offense?
Well, we try to rely heavily on everything. You know, we try to rely heavily on the penalty kill. It might not get the limelight that the power play gets, and 5-on-5's got to play well. The goaltending, defense, forwards, and so I mean it's all part of it. But it's been a group that's been, I think, in the upper rankings of the league for a few years, and I think that's the consistency and the continuity that they have with each other, and it's an important part of our team.
There were a few games, you know, a week or so ago where you talked about not being under siege, but the chances that you were allowing sort of being too loud. How have you felt about that the last couple games?
There were still things that were, I mean, we'll never give up zero chances.
Yeah.
You know, we'll never give up zero shots on net. And but I think there's still things that we can do better, and we go over those things and review them to try and get better, give ourselves the best chance of being successful. It's more of a discipline than anything else to make the right decisions at the right time.
I know Pitlick has been a full participant.
Yeah.
Is he cleared to play?
He is, yes. He's cleared to play.
It looks like not tonight based on what we saw.
Not tonight.
Yeah.
We're coming back with the same group.
And Igor and goal, I take it.
Yes.
With you talked, I think the last game of scoring in the bottom six, and I know you put together that line with Brodzinski in the middle there. And I know you said you liked them after the game.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that has potential to be a line that can provide offense for you out of that bottom six?
I thought all the lines were good last game with regard to generating. They all contributed in their own way. You know, I thought that Bonino's line was noticeable and Johnny's line was noticeable, and so it was nice to see them chip in and get some offense. I think it builds confidence to the line. You know, at the end of the day, whether it's, you know, the top lines chipping in with those lines, or the power play, or shorthanded goal, your goaltender carries the burden that night. We're here to win hockey games, and so we need everybody contributing, everybody producing in their own way. But I do think that there was, you know, there was more of an evenness to it. I thought all the lines were working to produce, working to generate, trying to play good defense, and counting on everybody inside of that game.
What have you seen from Johnny in what's really his first long look in the NHL? He's been up and down.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a skill level to him. He brings speed. If you go back and look at that goal that they scored, it happens because he outraces somebody in on the forecheck and able to come up with possession and turn things around and gets into ozone play and some puck movement. But for me, it's his speed that he brings to the table. He's got good skill, but he can skate. He can make things happen with his speed.
Keandre Miller, just curious what you feel like you've learned about him this season, just in talking to him. He seems to feel like there's more in the tank, that there's a higher ceiling there. You know, what are you seeing from him?
I think that he and Troops, Jacob, have done a really good job handling important minutes for us. They play. It's not set in stone all the time, but they handle a lot of number one and number two lines, the tougher lines to handle from an offensive standpoint. And as a young defenseman, sometimes that can be difficult reading those situations. I think he's done a good job with regard to that. I also think that he pushes himself offensively, and I think both of those areas will continue to grow with more experience that he gets.